I got her all the good music there was in the world, yes, sir. I bought her a Victor Victrola.
Say, Mom and me decided that if we wanted to be riding style, we'd better get one of these here Hail Columbia Happy Land talking machines.
Hi everybody. My wife tells me I should have my head examined for being inside on such a beautiful day like this. But this morning I was poking around in some of my storage areas, in other words closets, and I found a couple of cylinders that I knew I had, but I figured they were buried somewhere and I wouldn't find them for years because I have a very, very large collection of cylinders. And lo and behold, I moved a couple of cylinders and got my flashlight out, and my gosh, I found the two cylinders that I knew that I had and just couldn't find. I'll tell you a quick story. Hopefully it's quick. You know me, I can be windy. About maybe 15 years ago, an auction came up in this area, and I noticed that there was some cylinder records offered. No machine, just some box of cylinders. And so I couldn't attend. I had to be out of town when the auction was being held. So I called up the auctioneer, who I knew, and I said, can I leave first I asked how the condition of the cylinders was, and he said, yeah, they look pretty good. I said, great. I said, don't bother going through the titles, I'll leave you a bid. And he said, fine. So I left a bid. Just basically blind bidding on them, hoping that there would be a couple in there that would interest me. And the next morning I called when I was back home, and I called him and he said, yeah, you won them. Come on over and get them. So I was, just went over expecting that there wouldn't be anything special in there. And they were all 2-minute Edison black wax. And you can imagine my surprise when I found these two cylinders. This one, that Lovin' Two-Step Man by Sophie Tucker, extremely hard to find, and this one. And this is the one I'm going to play for you today. Jerusalem Mournin, Polk Miller and his Old South Quartet. Exceedingly scarce, both of these. And they were in the box of cylinders. I think there was like 20 or 25 cylinders. And it's hard enough to find these later. These are both fairly late 2-minute wax cylinders. At the time that these cylinders were manufactured by Edison's company, the 2-minute cylinders were on their way out. And so anyway, I was happy to find both of these, as well as the other ones, and they were all in pretty good shape. So a little bit of background on Polk Miller. Polk Miller was born in 1844, and he was born on he grew up on a plantation in Virginia, on his father's plantation in Richmond area, I believe. This is all going by memory from when I used to follow a lot of the artists on cylinders. But as I recall, he grew up on a plantation, and his father owned slaves, and some of the slaves who knew how to play banjo taught Polk Miller how to play banjo. And so he kind of put that aside, as I recall, and he started a pharmacy, well, what we call a pharmacy today. He became a druggist, and he kind of he was pretty successful, I suppose, with that. He dabbled with making medications, if you will, for his dog Sergeant. And anyway, to make a long story short, he began a quartet, Polk Miller's Old South Quartet, with, I believe, a couple of the members, or a couple of the slaves that were in his father's plantation, that worked on his father's plantation. And they sang with him, and they had beautiful voices. And anyway, they toured back in the early to, I think, the early 1890s. I could be wrong there. Maybe it was late 1890s. Through 1912 or so, and I believe Polk Miller passed away shortly after 1912. I think he passed away in 1912 or 1913. But anyway, so this is, we're going to play Jerusalem Mournin' on one of my Edison Firesides with the oak horn. And I hope that you enjoy it. Polk Miller, his recordings on cylinder are exceedingly difficult to find, especially on 2-minute wax. Once in a while, you'll occasionally find some of his blue amberol cylinders, like the Bonnie Blue Flag, which is a lovely tune, and What a Time is on blue amberol. I think Watermelon Party is another one. Anyway, I have all of his blue amberols, but when I knew I had this 2-minute Jerusalem Mournin' cylinder, and I was real happy to find it, and I'd like to play it for you. Okay? So when we come back, we'll listen to Polk Miller and his Old South Quartet with Jerusalem Mournin' played on the Edison Fireside. Okay, we're back. And without further delay, here is, as promised, Polk Miller and his Old South Quartet from 1910 on an Edison black wax 2-minute cylinder with his Old South Quartet doing Jerusalem Mournin'. Hope you enjoy it.
And you talk about Jerusalem mourning, yeah, good Lord. And you talk about Jerusalem mourning, yeah, good Lord. Brother Daniel in the lion's den, yeah, brother. He said unto some colored men, what is it? Get on your long way to road, and you'll carry count two to get ready when the great day comes. Yes, I'll be ready. I'll be ready. Yes, good Lord, I'll be ready when the great day comes. I'll be ready. I'll be ready. Yes, good Lord, I'll be ready when the great day comes. Yes, I'll be ready. I'll be ready. Yes, good Lord, I'll be ready when the great day comes. I'll be ready. I'll be ready. Yes, good Lord, I'll be ready when the great day comes. And the good book says that can kill evil. Yes, good Lord. He knocked him in the head with a leg of a table. Yes, good Lord. To tell sometimes I feel like I want to shout, oh, brother. Religion have turned me wrong side out. Oh, brother. You're on your long way to Rome, you'll carry count two to get ready when the great day comes. Yes, I'll be ready. I'll be ready. Yes, good Lord, I'll be ready when the great day comes. I'll be ready. I'll be ready. Yes, good Lord, I'll be ready when the great day comes. Yes, I'll be ready. I'll be ready. Yes, good Lord, I'll be ready when the great day comes. Yes, I'll be ready. I'll be ready. Yes, good Lord, I'll be ready when the great day comes.